Welcome to another video. So in this video we're going to be going over the Copart car that I bought. So this is the one I picked up, and as you can see it's got some front end damage to it. And this is what we're going to be repairing. So fender hood, there's some internal damage too that we'll get into. So this car is a 2010 that I bought about 5 years ago that had the same sort of damage on the right side of the car, and I repaired it. It's been a good car up until just recently, and the 2010, if you know, the F01s were famous for the valve guide seals going bad, and they went bad. The car's got 100 and almost 30,000, so it started smoking and burning oil real bad. And then it developed electrical problems, so I can't see it being worth fixing. It's a shame with a car with only 130,000 miles on it, but it is what it is. So I picked up this one, paid $3,400 for it at an auction. It's got 58,000 miles on it. It's a 2014. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the parts off of this one, and we're going to put them on this one. So part of the reason I'm making this video also is you can see that I've noticed there's not a lot of good videos on how to do things, even as simple as change the front bumper cover. So we're going to be going over all that. We're going to do the bumper cover, the hood, the fender, and some of the internal repairs. And I'm going to put the videos separate too. So if you'd like to just see a particular thing, you know, subscribe or go to the channel and you can see them. I also have videos on other repairs for this, the F01 F02 BMWs, the airbag pumps, fan motors for the heater, and other videos. If you'd like to see them, be sure to subscribe and check them out. So anyway, the first thing we're going to do is remove the bumper cover to this new one that we have. So let's get to it. Okay, so we jacked it up, took the wheel off. You almost have to do this. Always use jack stands. I had a car fall on a cousin and kill him. It's not a joke. It takes a few extra seconds to stick a jack stand under there. Anyway, I've seen this done where people just take these screws out of the fender well, because there's a couple screws in the bumper cover that you can't get to, and then they pull this back and do it. Well, you can do it that way, but trust me, it's very difficult, and you end up breaking the tabs sometimes, and you can't get all of them back in. So it's better just to take this thing out. It's not that hard. You have to look around. You have these little screws. A 5/16 nut driver on a drill will work. They go up there, and then it splits right at the top. So that's the top. This is the front part, and that's the back part. And take that whole cover out, and then you'll be able to get to the bumper cover and see the bolts. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is take both of those out. Then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so we got the cover out. Right here is the bolt that you can't really get to. If you pull that cover back, you can get to it, but it's really difficult. It doesn't take that much longer to take the cover off, but it's up to you. So anyway, you got the bolt here that's holding the cover on. Then there's one back here. So just look at them, make sure. Then what we got to do, and of course it looks like they started taking this apart probably for insurance reasonings, but there's little star bolts all across the front. You see where the holes are, you take all them loose. Now then you're going to have to take your plastic cover off, your headlight cover, and this part here that just has these little clips that go in them. Just take the clips and you take this cover off, and it will look like this side with nothing on there. So you do the same thing on this side, take those screws out. Of course this one's broke. And then what you got to do is go underneath. Okay, so if you look underneath, it's got the same thing. It's got these little 5/16 screws all across the bottom. Take all those off and we'll just about be free. So we're going to do that, then we'll move on to what's next. Okay, so it should pretty well be loose, but what you have to look for now, you have to be a little careful. There's a plug and we can see it real plain here because there's no headlight. So that's for the parking sensor. So you need to unplug that. And if your car has side camera lights, there'll be a plug on this side. Now you can pull the bumper loose a little bit and get to the plug. This vehicle does not have the side view camera, so it doesn't have that. But yeah, it's pretty much free. And for your information too, if you want to get to the headlight to replace the headlight, you have to go this far. So you have to take the cover off and then you can replace the headlight. So we're going to take that loose and see what we got. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is remove this bumper. So basically you just need to pop out, get your little tool and pop out the clips. I just generally use one of these things, get in there and pop it out. Got 2 bolts. There's back in here, you can't see it, it's smashed. There's a horn. There's one on the other side too. You can see the horn here. So easiest when you get it loose, just unplug the horns. But yeah, so there's just 2 bolts here, 2 bolts there, and we'll get this bumper off and see what's next. We're gonna take that out. So there's basically just a couple bolts here and a couple holding on trim and stuff like that. And then this section will pull out of the frame. So that's good, you know, because if you have a low impact collision like this was, you know, it just damages this piece and doesn't get into the frame at all. So it makes the car very repairable. So we're going to take that. You just got to take out those 2 big bolts. And the, like I said, a couple of these smaller ones, and it should come right off. We're going to do that next. Okay, so I got it out, but I was going to show you this piece here. There's actually a screw in the back of it. So I did this once before and it didn't have it, but you can see where that screw would be behind there and you can't get to it. So I just took the 2 screws out of the hood latch and this whole piece will pull out, and it comes off with your fresh air vent and your fresh air vent right there. So that's out of the way. So you can see this is not damaged at all. So we're all good there.